it's fun because when people meet me, then they're like, oh, you write like you talk. And, or I have friends who are like, you're always in my ear. Like I read you and I can hear you. And so I really appreciate that experience as a writer of writing that I've had friends who are like, I've read something and I knew it was you. So that is that's a very kind of honing experience. You're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
This is my style. And so in terms of the censorship, I mean, yeah, I do censor myself. There are, certainly I have some very inappropriate humor, and some of my friends are more privy to it. Some of that might not be ready for prime time. I know I had one writer or reader once write, and they're like, "Do you just fuck all the time?" And I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?
Fuck yeah,
fuck yeah, get the fuck out of my inbox, you fucking boring." Anyway, I was like, you know what? Let me hit that unsubscribe button for you. So, it's fun. It's funny when you have people who can't. I'm like, well, don't read it. It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
And so for me, with my voice and my style, like if somebody tries to come for me, I was like, don't read it. Yeah. Nobody's forcing you to remain a subscriber. It's not jiving for you. Like, and that's the thing too. It's like an energetic thing where if you don't like my style, then go find someone else.
Was it always like that, even when you just started out, or were you kind of like one foot on the gas, one on the brake because you weren't sure?
It's funny. I'll just say this. It's just interesting that like I often have men who come for me. I have had men who are like, who gave you the right to, write about these businesses, or who made you the expert, and it's so interesting. In the beginning, I would take a step back. I'm like, whoa, like, where's that coming from?
Yeah. What's the intention there?
Keeping women small.
Yeah. Okay.
It definitely pays to be a feminist. And a strong-willed woman, especially in the restaurant and food and beverage world and in the writing world. It's a very male-dominated scene. People tend to prefer male voices around food.
Interesting.
Certainly on TV, it's just like, what? Like women can't be like badass, swashbuckling, food experts. So it's like, what, are you writing to other guys and being like, who made you the boss of pho? Like, so it's really interesting that has come up repeatedly. And in fact, even the only ones who have written to me to complain about my new subscription model
are men.
Yeah. And it's just, I'm like, my nails are sharp now because I'm like, did you just come for me? Like, wow. And I have had to put multiple cranky, cheap men in their place who try to devalue my work, devalue my time, and say, and try to say that I'm not worth it. Like, wow. I'm not worth that annual fee. And one guy, like, I'm like, you always write to me about your international trips around the world.
Yeah. And you can't afford, like, what is it, $120 or something like that? Yeah.
Yeah. And I said, if you divide it by the 17 years you've been reading it for free, like, come on. Yeah. So yeah, don't even. So I'm just bringing this up as things that happen when you become an independent voice and writer, that things that bubble up. I also had this anonymous, it's kind of evil stalker person who was writing really horrible things to me. And you're just in those moments, you're like, okay, someone just came for me. Or it can happen just the online world, a nasty comment, a evil DM, whatever it is. Yeah. People will talk smack and they try to bring you down for different reasons.
Yeah.
And you always I don't know, I have a little folder actually of some of the kind things people have written to me.
That's great. Yeah. Yeah.
I have it. It's literally an email box. It's my Tablehopper stars. you
That's
know?
such a great idea. I went to a women's retreat one time, and we did this exercise where you put a piece of paper, like you tape a piece of paper to your back.
Mm.
All the women in the retreat would write on the paper like what they think of you. And then you take it off and you're just like, oh my God, like it's all this nice stuff. And I still have that. And I look at it whenever
Beautiful.
I feel shitty, you know?
Exactly. So I recommend, for people to be your own cheerleading squad. And if you're having a rough day, or someone's written something, or you've been rejected for something, go to your little folder of love notes, and that's like actually the really fun part of my column is I don't even know what I'm going to get in the mail every day. So I started my email yesterday. Emails full, I always wake up to like 120 emails, like, oh my God. And then there was this gem of this woman saying how much she loves my writing and the way I write about our industry. And I was like, just unprompted, just showed up in my inbox. That's gold. Thank you.
Yeah.
So I will say that, so in terms of how I put myself out there, I'm not going to let people dim my light. And it's like being on a bus. I'm like, are you on the bus? You off the bus? And if you're going to be cranky, just get off the bus. Because in the spirit of King Kesey, I'm going further.